Featured at the June Executive Committee, President of Florida Crystals and Palm Beach Civic Association Director Pepe Fanjul brought a team of consultants to the Zoom meeting to address pressing water quality issues.
They're complex issues. I think many of them are potentially solvable, but it takes time, it takes money, and good planning.
Tom MacVicar, formerly on the staff of South Florida Water Management District and currently a consultant to Florida Crystals, explained the complex Florida watershed, which feeds Lake Okeechobee from the north via the Kissimmee River. With the recent buildup of cyanobacteria, or blue-green toxic algae at Lake O, MacVicar says that bacteria is not the same type that has been detected in the drinking water flowing into Palm Beach.
The one in the lake that's dominant is this Microcystis aeruginosa. That's been the dominant species in the lake that produces a microcystin, which is toxic. The city of West Palm Beach problem is a different algae. It's this cylindrospermophysis, or whatever the heck that is. But it's a totally different algae. It used to be very common in the lake, but for the last 20 years, it has very rarely seen in Lake Okeechobee.
The water experts explained warm, wet weather conditions can create the perfect breeding ground for cyanobacteria in our canals as well as the lake. Water quality consultant Terry Bates offered perspective on our current water crisis. We're not the only ones dealing with this.
The United States Environmental Protection Agency actually has a monthly newsletter on harmful algal blooms across the country. So it's not an issue that's isolated to South Florida. So there's research and things going on across the country in other communities that deal with this, in Lake Erie and drinking water reservoirs in the West. So it's a nationwide problem with over-nutrification.
Even though contaminated water is a problem in many communities nationwide, Bates explained the state of Florida does not have a specific safety standard to regulate the level of cyanobacteria in our drinking water.
There are not specific standards set for the state of Florida, so a lot of what the state falls back on are World Health Organization recommendations. So they have a low threshold for recreational access that is commonly used for the microcystis that we see primarily in Lake Okeechobee and other water bodies around the state, but there's not a specific standard. But generally, anytime you've got a bloom where you've got a visible accumulation of algae, whether it's toxic or not, they'll refer to that as a harmful algal bloom. But there aren't statewide standards for the cyanobacteria.
Director Bob Haluba calling for Town of Palm Beach oversight of water quality testing at the West Palm Beach facility, which supplies water to Palm Beach.
Overseeing the West Palm Beach water treatment plant on our behalf, being as involved with the outside water testing that West Palm Beach tells us they have done up in Jacksonville, that Jacksonville is reporting not only back to West Palm Beach, but is reporting to Palm Beach as well, their findings, so that we know what West Palm Beach knows at the time that West Palm Beach knows it.
Our thanks to Pepe Fanjul, Tom MacVicar, and Terry Bates for sharing their insights into this complex and urgent water quality issue.